What's up guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Owl's Drum School. So we're going to talk a little bit today guys about our body position at the drums. This is one of our beginner lessons for the drummers down here at Owl's Drum School, and we want to make sure that when we're sat at the drums we're nice and comfortable, things are where we need them to be in order for us to be comfortable, to play well, and to most importantly play with proper technique. We want to make sure that things aren't out of reach. If our cymbal was right at the end of our drumstick over here and we couldn't quite get it, that's not going to be very efficient for us when we're in the middle of a groove or if we're coming out of a fill in order to reach over to either of the cymbals. Make sure they're nice and close, you can reach them, not fully stretched, not super close, somewhere in between. I like to keep a slight bend in my elbow to make sure that I can reach them comfortably with both hands if I need to. We also don't want to have our drums tilted so much that they're right facing us. This will actually damage your drum heads, your drum skins. If your toms are too angled towards you, what will happen is you'll start to hit more of the end of the stick instead of it being flat like this, and that will actually damage your drums. Find a happy medium between the two. Again, this can depend on what size your drums are, how many you've got, lots of different factors, but try different angles of your toms, get them nice and comfortable. You can see mine are slightly back towards me, same with my floor tom, not completely flat and not completely away from me either. Again, a nice sort of happy medium. Our snare drum. Our snare drum is the one between our legs, and that one wants to be, again, a nice flat surface, not too extreme either way. If you're playing traditional grip, what a lot of drummers will do is tilt it away from them a little bit in order to get the right angle on the snare drum. I'm not going to teach you traditional grip, so if you're working down here, it's probably not something you need to worry about, but just in case you see it, be aware traditional grip players sometimes play with their snare drum angled away from them a little bit. How do we want to have our pedals set up? I like to have my pedals almost parallel, not quite because that gets slightly uncomfortable, but I like to have them imagining that there's a straight line across the front of them, and I like to put them both along that straight line or as close as possible. Now again, this depends a little bit on your setup. If you've got double pedal, you're going to need to make room for that. If you've got lots of other pedals going on, this might change a little bit. But a general rule of thumb is to have them somewhere between sort of like 11 and 1 or 10 to 2, that kind of vibe. Certainly not too extreme and certainly not extreme the other way, so they're sort of pointing in as well. So how do we want to be sat on our stool at the drum kit? Now, as you probably imagined, it's important to sit with a nice straight back. We want to try and lean away from this slouching thing. We want to try and stay away from that. It's quite easy to go into that position, especially when we're playing what we would call like a really groovy song. It's quite like an easy thing to do to sort of slouch over the drums, and we're really sort of getting into the feel of a particular song. But try and keep your back straight if you can. If you can't do it all the time, something I'll do is I'll sort of check in with myself of, oh, halfway through a tune I think, am I sitting up straight? How does it feel? This is also going to give us a nice balance. When we start doing things with both feet, four-way coordination exercises, it's really important that we're balanced on the drum stool, otherwise we might feel like we might fall off it, feel like we're a bit at sea. So try and keep your center of gravity, if you like, over the drum stool, back nice and straight. Those are just a few little tips to help you with your body position at the drum kit. This is something that I think is quite important, keeping our body healthy in order to be able to play drums for a long time or even long periods of time. If you're in a recording session, there's a possibility that you might be sat at the drums 6, 8+ hours at a time, with breaks obviously, but the whole day and sometimes into the night is going to be taken up with just sitting at the drums. It's really important that we're comfortable, we're supported, and everything is exactly where we need it to be. With this as well, guys, try and move things about. Try things in a certain position for a while. If it doesn't work, change it. Try another thing, moving different things, adjusting heights of stuff. It's a really useful tool to find your setup. This is how we kind of, after years of playing, come to land on what it is we have in front of us and how we have it set up, by just prolonging the time we spend at the drums, figuring out all these little details. I hope you enjoy. Take it into the practice room. And don't forget to tag Al's Drum School in your video, guys. I'd love to see the ideas you're coming up with within your setup. Lots of cool things to try. I hope you all have a wicked week, guys, and I'll catch you soon.